Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber Security Plus podcast. This series helps you prepare for the CompTIA Security Plus exam with focused explanations and practical context. For a companion study guide, check out the Achieve CompTIA Security Plus 701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. It is the most concise and complete Security Plus guide on the market, built for busy professionals who want to pass the exam fast and on their first try. You can find this book and others at cyberauthor.me. Digital forensics is more than a reactive process. It's a discipline built on precision, integrity, and long-term reliability. Whether you're preserving a hard drive, archiving emails, or collecting chat logs, the evidence you handle today may become a critical factor in a legal, regulatory, or corporate investigation tomorrow. And when that happens, your ability to preserve and deliver that evidence securely and transparently is just as important as your ability to detect a breach in the first place. In this episode, we'll focus on two essential aspects of digital forensics: evidence preservation and e-discovery. Let's begin with evidence preservation. Once digital evidence has been identified and acquired, preserving it means maintaining its integrity from that point forward. The evidence must remain unaltered, securely stored, and accessible only by authorized personnel. If the integrity of the evidence is compromised, if it's changed, corrupted, or accessed without logging, then its legal or investigative value can be significantly weakened or even nullified. Preservation starts with creating a verified forensic copy. That copy must be identical to the original, which is why imaging tools use bit-for-bit duplication and cryptographic hashing. Once the image is created, a hash value, often SHA-256, is calculated and recorded. That value is your digital fingerprint. If at any point the evidence is altered, even by a single bit, the hash value will change. This is how you prove that the copy remains authentic. From there, the evidence must be stored securely. That means using tamper-evident containers for physical media and access-controlled, encrypted storage for digital files. Every interaction with the evidence, from copying it to moving it, must be logged and traceable. Chain of custody procedures remain in effect throughout this phase, ensuring that the evidence can stand up to legal scrutiny. Let's walk through a real-world example. A state agency is investigating a suspected data breach that occurred on a contractor's laptop. The forensic investigator acquires a disk image using a write blocker, calculates the hash, and transfers the image to a secure forensic server. The original laptop is then placed in a sealed, labeled bag and stored in a locked evidence cabinet. Throughout the investigation, the team works only from the verified copy. Every file they open, every analysis they conduct, and every report they generate is based on a duplicate, never the original. This protects the evidence from accidental changes and ensures it can be revisited later if necessary. Preservation also applies to volatile data, such as memory captures or network traffic logs. While this type of evidence is inherently temporary, once captured, it too must be hashed, archived, and protected. Even log files, if relevant to an incident, must be pulled from production systems and frozen before they rotate or age out of storage. If logs are overwritten or allowed to expire, key parts of your investigation timeline may disappear. Another important preservation challenge arises when dealing with cloud environments. In cloud platforms, you often don't control the physical hardware, and logs may be stored across multiple regions. That's why it's essential to configure your cloud services for forensic readiness, retaining logs for a sufficient duration, enabling audit trails, and ensuring that snapshots, images, and configurations can be captured when needed. When an incident occurs, this proactive setup allows your team to preserve relevant evidence quickly and with confidence. Now let's shift to our second major topic, e-discovery. Electronic discovery, or e-discovery, refers to the process of identifying, collecting, preserving, reviewing, and producing electronic information in response to a legal request or investigation. In civil litigation, regulatory enforcement, or internal investigations, e-discovery is how digital evidence is gathered and presented. Unlike a criminal forensic investigation, which may focus on proving malicious intent or tracking down an attacker, E-discovery is often driven by legal deadlines and disclosure requirements. It may involve tens of thousands of emails, documents, chat records, attachments, and user logs. The focus is not just on preserving the data, but on organizing it, filtering it, and delivering it in a format that can be reviewed by attorneys, auditors, or courts. The e-discovery process typically begins with a legal hold, which we covered in an earlier episode. Once a hold is issued, the organization must ensure that all relevant data is preserved. From there, the e-discovery team works with IT and cybersecurity staff to locate data sources, like file shares, backup systems, cloud drives, messaging platforms, and email archives. Data collection must be complete, defensible, and minimally disruptive. That means using approved tools and following procedures that maintain metadata, timestamps, and file integrity. Simply printing out emails or copying folders with Windows Explorer won't cut it. Modern e-discovery platforms automate collection and index data for search, tagging, and analysis. Let's take a real-world example. A multinational firm receives a subpoena related to an employment discrimination lawsuit. The legal team issues a legal hold for emails, calendar invites, instant messages, and performance reviews related to a specific manager and team. The IT team works with an e-discovery vendor to extract the data from Microsoft 365, the human resources platform, and archived backup systems. They maintain custody, hash the files, and load them into a review platform. Attorneys then search for keywords, categorize the documents, and prepare the relevant subset for production. Throughout the process, logs are kept, and evidence is stored securely in case it must be defended in court. E-discovery also includes a review and redaction phase. Sensitive data, such as social security numbers, health records, or privileged attorney-client communications, must be redacted or withheld according to legal standards. Mistakes in this process can result in fines, sanctions, or data exposure. Another key concept in e-discovery is proportionality. Courts generally expect that organizations will preserve and produce relevant data, but not necessarily every byte of information ever created. The scope of discovery must be proportional to the matter at hand. That means focusing on custodians, individuals likely to possess relevant data, on time ranges that match the incident timeline, and on data types that are most likely to contain evidence. Cybersecurity teams play a crucial role in this process. Even though attorneys lead the legal review, it's the cybersecurity professionals who often understand where the data resides, how it's accessed, and how it can be preserved. Working closely with legal, compliance, and IT ensures that discovery efforts are thorough, defensible, and efficient. E-discovery isn't just about legal defense. It's also about reputation management and internal transparency. When handled properly, the e-discovery process builds trust and demonstrates maturity. It shows that your organization takes investigations seriously, follows due process, and knows how to handle data responsibly. To summarize, forensic evidence preservation and e-discovery are two critical components of cybersecurity readiness. Evidence preservation ensures that digital data remains secure, unaltered, and admissible from acquisition through investigation and beyond. E-discovery takes that preserved data and prepares it for legal review, balancing completeness, privacy, and procedural accuracy. Together, these practices form the bridge between technical response and legal accountability. For the Security Plus exam, expect questions about secure evidence handling, hash verification, and the legal and procedural requirements of e-discovery. You may be asked to identify the correct steps in preserving evidence or describe how to support an e-discovery request, review terms like SHA 256, legal hold, metadata integrity, e-discovery platform, chain of custody, and redaction compliance. They're all highly relevant and frequently tested. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersecurity Plus podcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com. And before you take the test, make sure to check out the practice questions in the book Achieve CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. They cover every domain and are a powerful way to lock in your knowledge.